Okay, so we will come back. We are basically continuing the transformation based strategies, static material based strategies and functional group based strategies in a combination way. So, next we will be trying to continue on the same topic, and will give you a target molecule which is a little bit different than the earlier. The target molecule here having a structure is a bit complicated structure, and we have not talked about any of the heterocycle molecule yet, and this target is a heterocycle based structure. You see the structure, it is having a furan ring fused with a cyclohexane kind of compound, and there are a alkyne appendage, means a acetylenic functional group was there at one end. The starting material I will try to give it. So, to make your job little bit easier, the starting material which was given to you is a 1,3 cyclohexane dione. Eventually, this whole transformation is a unique transformation, and if you try to figure it out the entire target first, let us analyze the target and then you try to go back that how it can be done. So, first we will be doing a functional group addition, keeping the furan part remain similar, and we say these compounds can be done in a functional group addition way, where basically you will be using a acetylenic magnesium species which is acting as a nucleophile. This nucleophile attacks to this carbonyl, you get a OH and this alkyne, then you do a simple 1,2 elimination here to get the target molecule, So, this intermediate how you can prepare. This intermediate again can be prepared if you are disconnecting this methyl group will be introduced at this stage, the remaining part is similar. So, you basically doing a base mediated alkylation with a methyl iodide as a electrophile. This is starting material, one of the starting material. Fine. Now, we will try to construct the furan ring. Now, furan ring was thought to be making in this way. If you have a compound like this and this vinylic alcohol, this will undergo dehydration reaction to make this compound. Now, our initial starting material which was given is a cyclohexane 1,3 dione. Now, see the cyclohexane 1,3 dione was almost came in the design. So, next if you are trying to do another round of retro, that will give you some compound like this. Now, this is basically very simple formation. Now, this compound is similar to this. If you analyze that, this compound is very prone to enolization. The acidic hydrogen is a 1,3 diketone. So, it will be instantly enolized to this vinylic alcohol. This aldehyde also having acidic hydrogen, that can also enolize to give you this vinylic alcohol. Now, both of these two vinylic alcohols will undergo dehydration reaction to give you furan. So, this thing is important, and now this intermediate can be correlated back to this original starting material which was given to you. Only thing is you need to introduce a hanging CH2CH2 group. Now, this hanging CH2CH2 group can be introduced by a chloroacetaldehyde as a electrophile. So, go back to the synthesis in a forward pathway. So, initial we will start with the starting material which was given to you, a cyclohexane 1,3-dione. You do a base mediated alkylation LDA. This is the most abstractable acidic hydrogen, one equivalent of LDA, and then you react with chloroacetaldehyde. So, you will get the corresponding alkylated product, and then you allow this compound to enolaze. So, it basically forms this enolization as well as this aldehyde also will be enolizing to give you this, and then simple dehydration reaction will basically give you the furan core, this furan part in this molecule. So, next was pretty simple as discussed in the earlier part. You do again one round of LDA and methyl iodide. Now, this will be the hydrogen which will be abstracted, one equivalent of LDA, one equivalent of methyl iodide. You will basically get this compound, the furan part remain intact. Okay. So, we are almost close to the target molecule. Next we said that you need a alkyne Grignard reaction. Alkyne Grignards can be easily generated, and you do a nucleophilic addition on this carbonyl compound. You will basically get this alcohol. Next we said you just do a dehydration reaction by using this compound with PTSA. What is PTSA? PTSA is para-toluene sulfonic acid, which is a dehydrating agent, and then you will basically undergo 1,2 elimination, and which will lead you the target molecule, which is so the entire pathway of this complex molecule, which was looking bit complex at the beginning. We are trying to do a very methodical or strategical approach, that how stepwise retrosynthetic disconnection which will help you to go reverse direction to come to the starting material which was given. So, this is the power of retrosynthetic disconnection. You do the initial reverse pathway which was just shown you here. You do a reverse pathway, then when you are trying to do the forward pathway, you start with the starting material and do the forward sequences as described in the reverse arrow. Only thing is, you need to remember that each and every step you need to put down the proper reagent and proper reaction condition. The next one will be a similar kind of thing, but we will be talking about a potential useful transformation which is named as azaenolate alkylation. The target molecule was this, and to make your thinking simple, will give you the starting material also. I said this compound needs to be prepared from a cyclopentenone. Now, if you do a disconnection just by using a very standard disconnection, you will see that okay, let us put a break here, and then if you have access of something like this kind of anion which will attack in a Michael fashion, but in reality this anion probably you will not get it. I mean, you can basically think about this kind of anion, but how to access this kind of anion, then your a unique transformation which is named as enamine alkylation will come into picture. We are just drawing some species which is basically a enamine. Now, enamines are what? En, amine. This part is en, this part is amine, it is called enamine. You can also name them as aza-enolate. You know enolate, enolates are basically nothing, oxygen containing double bond containing compound. Now, this is enols, but aza, oxygen is replaced by a nitrogen. Okay. Now, this enamine or aza-enolate you can simply prepare by taking a secondary amine with a suitable aldehyde like isobutyraldehyde. Now, how this reaction goes? This nucleophilic amine attacks to the aldehyde carbonyl and then simple water elimination takes place to give you this enamine or aza-enolate. Now, enamines are very strategically useful intermediate. Now, how this enamine will then react to this electrophilic Michael acceptor, means somewhere you have to generate this enamine as a nucleophile. Now, this lone pair we have basically forgotten. This lone pair will try to do a electron relay and put this negative charge here. So, in principle it will basically you can visualize the entire enamine as a, now this naturally will be now plus and then it will be iminium things. So, negative charge now resides here. So, this is basically a equivalent of these things. So, Me, the CHO, this carbon is basically after you remove this imine part which will be giving this CHO, fine. So, initially you react this compound which is named as piperidine, the secondary amine, cyclic amine with this isobutyraldehyde. You get this enamine first. Okay. Then under this reaction condition, enamine you no need to isolate it. You react this enamine with this starting material. Now, the lone pair of this enamine will make these things, this negative charge comes here. Now, this one we will now attack in a 1,4 fashion. Okay. Now, why it will not attack in the 1,2 fashion? Probably the steric crowding. This nucleophile is a pretty bad nucleophile, having its 2 methyl groups are here. So, it will attack this fashion, then you will basically get this methyl is there and then you can put this entire this your nitrogen plus is now becoming a imine. Now, simple imine you can basically hydrolyze it to simple hydrolysis by aqueous workup. So, this part will be knocked down and then you can come back to your aldehyde which was the original target. So, this transformation is basically based on a enamine or aza-enolate alkylation and we potentially took a compound cyclopentenone and where we are making a new carbon carbon bond through enamine alkylation. And this is a very powerful method to make a new carbon carbon bond. Probably you can find in many textbook how these enamines are functionally manipulated or synthetically manipulated to give you very useful intermediates. So, as I said, we are trying to give you a comprehensive idea about the different transformation based strategies. So, next we will be talking about some useful strategies which is also very important. We first draw the target molecule which is which needs to be synthesized. The target molecule having a structure something like this, and let us say I will give you the starting material also. The starting material was a simplified starting material, a cyclopentanone. Now, we go back to the retro pathway based on whatever transformation we can think of. If you see the target molecule is basically a 5 member lactone at one end, and one end it is having a cyclopentene structure. The starting material is basically having a cyclopentanone with a methyl in it. So, try to correlate this, but initial correlation will be bit difficult. Now, until unless you know this transformation, probably that will bit difficult, but eventually we will try to do it. We initially says that we will be putting a X group here. Now, X is a supposed to be a good leaving group which undergoes elimination of HX to put this double bond here. So, it is a functional group interconversion. Okay. Functional group interconversion. Now, try to figure it out the next part. Next part we say, so you need to introduce the X which will serve as a leaving group. The methyl part remain here, Now, we will be drawing a intermediate whose structure is something like this. Now, why we drew this retro? We have already talked about some reaction named as halolactonization. We say halolactonization is a very useful reaction where you can first make a bromonium or halonium ion, then you have a internal nucleophile or intramolecular nucleophile which attacks the bromonium ion to give you these things. Now, if you have this acid is what kind of acid? If you try to give the nomenclature is a alpha, beta, gamma, delta. This is alpha, beta is basically gamma delta unsaturated acid. Now, these things you will be doing a iodolactonization reaction, and then this OH of this carboxylic acid will put this ring closing to give you a lactone. Now, we have to, we already know that gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compounds can be prepared by Johnson Orthoester Claisen rearrangement. Okay. So, the earlier information which you just told you earlier, that you can use it right now. So, you have to basically now try to figure it out a simple allylic alcohols, is not it? You have to do a simple allylic alcohols. Now, this allylic alcohols, if you do a Johnson Orthoester rearrangement, you can basically Johnson Claisen rearrangement which I already discussed, you can create this CO2 ET. Now, which is nothing a alpha, beta, gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic acid. You basically hydrolyze this acid to come back to the this ester to come back to acid, do a halolactonization, fine. Now, there are potentially other reactions which will also give you similar transformations. This reaction is now we will be discussing. You take this corresponding allylic alcohol, react with, I mean put it like a acetate. Now, acetate is basically what? It is basically OCOCH3. Okay. So, now we will try to use a similar kind of 3 sigmatopic rearrangement which is named as Ireland Claisen rearrangement. It is a similar variation of Johnson Orthoester rearrangement is named as Ireland Claisen rearrangement. Now, what exactly this transformation is? The transformation basically is you have a this methyl O CO CH3. You treat with a base LDA and put a trimethyl silyl chloride. So, initially LDA will abstract this acidic proton to give you enolate, and this enolate will be then trapped as its enol silyl ether is this. Now, you see is a 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1. Oh, sorry, this double bond was have been replaced. So, you can have a structure which was initially this, yeah, oh yes, this is the correct structure. So, now see 1 2 3 1 2 3. So, you can now subject this compound with simple heat, which will ensure the 3 sigmatopic rearrangement takes place, and you basically now get this TMS ester. The TMS ester is basically you can hydrolyze it by aqueous acidic workup, which will give you the carboxylic acid. The carboxylic acid you can do the ring closing by a halolactonization. We will try to do another reaction which is named as selenolactonization. Selenolactonization. What is that? We will now subject to a compound named as phenyl selenium chloride. It is having similar properties of a iodo or bromo. It will basically give you a first a seleno species, and this seleno species will behave in similar way, the same way iodo or bromo species attacks. Now, this oxygen internally attack to this carbon in a nucleophilic fashion, and then basically you will be getting the ACPH here. The next step is you have to get rid of the selenium things. For that reason, for that purpose, it is a useful transformation we called selenoxide syn elimination. The transformation next we will be using selenoxide elimination, selenoxide elimination. So, what it is exactly, you treat this compound with a sodium periodate, which is basically oxidize the selenium first. To give you Ac plus O minus and pH. Now, we need to have a 1-2 elimination to get the target molecule. Now, selenoxide will get a hydrogen in its close proximity, this hydrogen. Now, this selenoxide syn elimination is basically a 2-3 sigmatropic rearrangement. It is basically 1-2 is a 1-2-3. So, it basically picks up this hydrogen and then these things takes place. So, normally this is a close transition state through a cyclic transition state, and after this reaction takes place, you basically get the O is there, this methyl is there, and the final product which will be eliminated as phenyl selenol, selenic acid, phenyl selenol actually. So, pH ACOH will be released, and this was called selenoxide syn elimination. You can also do a iodolactonization, do the HI elimination, you can do a bromolactonization, but this is a another important reaction, selenoxide syn elimination. So, what are the transformation we used for this particular target TF1 transformation 1, we use a Ireland-Claisen rearrangement. Ireland-Claisen rearrangement. We use selenoxide syn elimination. Selenoxide syn elimination. Fine. And the starting material was given to you a cyclopentenone, and from the initial starting material you need to do a 1:2 reduction to convert it to a allylic alcohol. How you can do it? We have discussed it. You can simply do by a Luche reduction, just by reacting with sodium borohydride and cerium chloride. So, the which does not attack the alpha beta unsaturated esters, only attack the 1,2 carbonyl reduction takes place. 1,4 is unaffected. So, it is a chemoselective reduction. Okay. So, transformation 1 is Ireland-Claisen, transformation 2 is selenoxide syn elimination, transformation 3 we used a Luche reduction. So, basically the entire pathway you can formulate the combination of multiple transformations. We used a very simple 1:2 reduction by Luche pathway, then you use a Ireland-Claisen to come back to generate the gamma delta unsaturated esters with the starting material, and then we do a selenoxide syn elimination after the selenolactonization or the respective lactonization takes place. The selenolactonization is basically, as I said, the 2,3 sigmatropic rearrangement. First you need to oxidize the selenium through a proper oxidizing reagent by sodium periodate, then you make sure the 2,3 sigmatropic takes place. Is a thermal reaction. This O minus abstracts hydrogen and the electron shifting is this way, you get the particular target molecule which is desired for this transformation. So, eventually the power of this multiple transformation based strategies is very useful, and definitely I will request all of you to study as many transformation as you can through a standard textbook or through the Syn archive. Whatever resources are available to you, just go through it and then try to figure it out whether those reactions will be quite useful for you for a given set of transformations. As I discussed in particular 2-3 problems, the first one we are talking about a furan derived compound in this week, and then the second part we talked about this Ireland-Claisen rearrangement, which is basically nothing but a extensive version of a or extent version of a Johnson orthoester-Claisen rearrangement. It is a 3 sigma-atomic rearrangement, and the take home message is, if you having a some delta gamma unsaturated esters something like this, straightforward you can go back to the Johnson orthoester-Claisen rearrangement as your main transformation. Transformation will be Johnson orthoester-Claisen rearrangement, and then this Johnson orthoester-Claisen rearrangement will give you the gamma delta unsaturated ester. Is similar like we also talked about Ireland-Claisen rearrangement, which is basically nothing a modified version of a Claisen reaction, and that will also give you a gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compound. And the rest of the things are basically functional group interconversion. You have to convert whatever functional group we have generated. Like for this one case we talked about Van Raab ketone synthesis. After the Johnson orthoester took place, you have this ester, you can convert the ester to corresponding amide, because your target molecule has to have a ketone. So, esters are highly reactive, then you try to reduce the activity of the ester by converting the ester to corresponding amide, and this amide which we used is a Van Raab amide, and Van Raab amide having a OMe group is having a OMe group, This OMe group basically helps. So, if you have a amide like this OMe, and this OMe basically what it helps, how it helps? It basically helps in chelation. So, the chelate is rock stable, does not matter how much equivalent nucleophile you add, the chelate will remain stable. Then you just quench it with the acid, you get the one equivalent addition of nucleophile. So, in the next week we will be talking about this entire transformation functional group, and we will keep on discussing several known transformation based strategies, as well as if there are some unknown transformation, we will discuss the mechanism in detail. Then you can try to figure it out how this pathways can be simplified, and you all of you can get some benefits out of this. So, we will see you in the next week. Till then, goodbye.